Hi, this is 365801 and this is a Buzzword 2023 Reading Challenge TBR and recommendations video. So we are on to the August Buzzword TBR recommendation video for this reading challenge. It's been going on for a while now. I don't even know how many videos I've done for this now. But anyway, we're on to August. And August's buzzword is thematic and it is body parts. So for body parts, Kayla does give some recommendations and some examples of words that might fit, like flesh and skin and heart. And a few other examples. So I just usually will go on and check my database, which is what I did. But as usual, go over to Kayla's video, check it out, and also get the examples so you can post on social media as well. Now, I already know going into this one that there are plenty of examples of body parts in manga. Right off the top of my head, I can think of many that have heart in the title, so I'm not going to be looking at any other digital titles or any kind of resources that way. I'm just going to be specifically looking at my own collection. So yeah, I went to my spreadsheet and I typed in the first word, which is obviously body. Now, the first one that comes up is Body Language, which is a yaoi novel. This is by Aki Morimoto and Tsubaki Enomoto by June Manga. I 100% know that I've read it at some point. I cannot tell you what this is about. I have very little memories of any of my yaoi novels. Now, the second title that comes up is Heavenly Body. This is by Takashi Kanzaki and a Dieu title, which is interesting because most of the Dieu titles for Takashi Kanzaki are 801 titles. This one is a Dieu title. It's in my other collection. It's one of the few Dieu titles in my other collection, so I don't have it with me today. I'm not sure if I've read it, but Takashi Kanzaki is not exactly my 100% favourite. I do need to read I think it's a he, but don't quote me on that. Then I moved on to a word that I knew for sure I would have some in my collection here, and that is heart. 100%, a lot of examples came up. The first one that came up, though, was also one that I don't think I have in this collection. I think it's still in my other collection, and that's because I know that I've read it at some point. It is A Murmur of the Heart by Makoto Tatano. This is actually part of a duology, a two-part series. A Waltz in the Clinic, I think, is the other one. So yeah, this is one that I recommend you get them both so that you can read them together. The next one that comes up is one that I actually do have, and this is Two of Hearts by Kano Miyamoto, another Dieu title. Now, I have read this and I did not enjoy it. I don't actually like Kano Miyamoto's work that much. Except for Sleeping Moon. Sleeping Moon is like the only one that I actually really enjoy. This one involves a writer and a young man that he befriends and brings into his house, and it is very suspect and kind of a bit toxic. Now we move on to another one that is also a bit toxic, but in the best way. That is Total Eclipse of the Eternal Heart by Shinde, and this is a 7 Seas title. I have read this, I've reread this, and I've reread it again. It's fabulous. It is a murder mystery. It's got supernatural elements. It's got romance. It's got amazing art. It's got some sort of weird things going on. It's a bit gory, and I love it. Absolutely love it. I always pair this with Lychee Light Club. It's a really good one. The two of them just kind of go together. The historical setting, the time period, the dark art style, just everything about it is just chef's kiss. Now the next one that came up is To Take an Enemy's Heart. This is a 9-volume series by Yusa. This is a Net Comics one. They recently republished volumes 1 and 2, or reprinted them, I should say, so that I could actually complete my collection. So I'm so grateful. Thank you, Netcomics. I have not read it yet. It sounds like a revenge story, and it sounds messy AF, and I'm like, yes, 100%. I cannot wait to read this. The one after that is The Heart of Thomas. This is a Moto Hagio Fantagraphics publication. I've had this in my collection for a while. I tried starting it a couple of times. It is definitely getting read this year. This is definitely going on my TBR. I still think that this is one of the best bargains I got, because I got it for £7. It was like £6 something, just shy of £7 on eBay secondhand. And now it would be really difficult to get hold of. However, wait a second and you might be able to get a copy. I think that the Fantagraphics are going to be republishing this or reprinting it, so you might be able to get one. Just like Drunken Dreams, hold on, you could get a very reasonably priced one. Give it a couple of weeks or months. Now the next one that comes up is Stolen Heart. This is a Yukine Honami and Maki Kanamaru title. This is June manga, and this is something that could certainly go on my TBR because it's one I've had for a while, but I haven't read it yet. So there's quite a few June manga ones that I've just kind of put aside or put in a drawer or had up in my parents' loft, and I haven't read. This is one of them, so I could definitely get this read this year. Now, one I've already read, but I would be up for a reread, is a Hyota Fujiyama title, Pure Heart, also another June manga title. This is because I love Hyota Fujiyama. She doesn't get enough love. But Pure Heart is a longer series in Japanese, and they only printed the first volume. Obviously, of course. But it is still a perfectly good volume in its own right, and I would like to read it and watch the live action drama too. Now, the next one that pops up is Open the Door to Your Heart. This is a Yugi Yamada title, also June manga. As you know, I'm a huge Yugi Yamada stan, and this is the spin-off from, I think it's Close the Last Door. It is, obviously that's a 2-volume series. This is just the single volume, and this is about the older Honda brothers. One of the characters in Close the Last Door is Honda-san, and he has 2 older brothers, or at least he has an older brother and an older adopted brother who's actually his cousin, and the 2 of them have a very stormy relationship from when they were younger, and now they're adults and they have to be together again and interact, and it's just full of the witticisms of Yugi Yamada. And I just checked, and it is translated by Jocelyn Allen, so there you go. Now the next one is a graphic novel and not a manga, and it is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I have already read all 4 volumes. I'm very happy that I have these. I don't have them in hardback yet. That's maybe something to get in the future. I'm waiting for volume 5, which I think comes out in maybe November, but apparently it's not the final volume. We were told that it was going to be, and I think we're actually going to get volume 6 as well. So I look forward to that. But this is one that I don't need to read because I've already read it, but it would be a good one to put on your TBR. Or, of course, you could just watch the Netflix drama, which is, I think, coming out in August. Perfect timing! Now, another one that I have read is Ayano Yamane's Finder Volume 9, Beating of My Heart. To be able to read this 1 volume, you'll need to read 8 volumes before. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but because I've already read this, it doesn't need to go on my TBR. But if you're desperate for one and you don't have any others in your collection, you could go for Finder if you happen to enjoy just jumping in. To be fair, all of the volumes are pretty much the same story. So I don't think it makes too much of a difference where you read it from. Another heart title is Empty Heart. This is by Masara Minase. This is a drama queen title, and I don't think we get enough Masara Minase. It's been such a long time since I read this. I definitely feel like I should put it back onto the unread pile and just stick it on my TBR, because Minase Masara is easy peasy to read. She's prolific. She has so many titles, but I think we only got 2. I think we only got 2 in physical print in English, which is a darn shame, because her stories are very easy to read, very throwaway, very surface, but still quite fun. Now, After getting all of those heart titles, I thought I would check another one that I knew I would have more than one, and that is for the word blood. So we start off with A Bloody Kiss Tonight. That is another Makoto Tateno title. This one is printed by Doki Doki, one that I've recently read, so I don't need to put it on my TBR. It's about a boy who goes and kind of lives with vampires. So if you like vampire stories, that's a great one for you. Honestly, I think all of these ones that involve the word blood are vampire stories, so this is a great time to get your vampire reading done. The next one is Sweet Blood. This is a 10-volume series by Se Young Kim and published by Net Comics. I did a whole buddy reading vlog. I will put the link in the corner. It's a great series. It's like Korean, Game of Thrones, isekai, dragons, vampires. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's got everything. It's got everything, and I loved it. It was great. Don't forget there are also 3 digital only volumes with some spin-off side stories as well. I would highly, highly recommend this one. We've got some more vampires. This is Bloody Mary. This is a shoujo / Viz Media type title by Akaza Samamiya. And also a 10-volume series. I don't have all 10 volumes though. I'm missing volume 7, 9, and 10. So I can't complete it. I have read the first, I think, 4 or 5 volumes. But I'm going to wait until I have all of the volumes to do a reread. The art style though is very fun. The chibis are cute and I quite enjoyed what I read anyway. The next one is Blood Honey or Blood Honey Plus, and this is a Yozokura Sakyo title by Blue, and this one involves a phlebotomist who is someone who draws blood, who just happens to be a vampire, and he needs to draw the blood of a man who keeps on coming back to get his blood taken because apparently he has too much of it, and when he has too much of it, he gets very animalistic, almost like a sort of extra strength and kind of like a beast man. So the two of them actually have quite a good relationship. Now, at this point, I'd come across quite a few hearts and blood, and I was going to try a few other key phrases. So the first one I thought I would try was leg, and I didn't get anything. So then I tried head, and I got a couple of titles. The first one was 4th Generation Head, Tatsuyuki Oyamato. This is a Scarlet Bearco title from Sublime. I know head is not really the same usage of an actual head, but the head of an organization. I don't recommend this to anyone. I think the art style is great. Scarlet Bearco is a beautiful artist, but I do not recommend that you read this. I'm just going to say it. I don't. The next one with head in the title is one I don't have in my collection here. It's in my other collection, and that is You Make My Head Spin by Kazuhiko Mishima, and this is a June manga title. I've never read this, so unfortunately I can't put it on my TBR because it is in my other collection. There's just a few titles that I just don't have and I haven't read yet, so this is one that's going to have to be for another time, another place. Now, it was at this point in time that I just thought maybe I should just go through my drawers and see if I can find anything. So here's a random selection of words that might come up that might be interesting. The first one that I came across was Electric Hands. This is by Taishi Zhao, and this is a Doki Doki title. I don't think I've read this one. I know I got it, but I can't remember if I read it. So this might have to go on my TBR because I don't remember what it's about, so I can't tell you anything about it. So it's probably wise for me to put it on my TBR. Another one that I've had in my collection for a while and I haven't read yet is a psychedelico title published by Net Comics, and that's Love Full of Scars. I mean, you can't have a scar anywhere else. Well, you could have a scar on the land, I suppose, but a scar on the body, it's a body part, is a scar. But it is psychedelico, and I really like psychedelico's work. But I haven't actually read this one yet, so that might have to go on my TBR. I haven't heard great things about it though, which just intrigues me more. One that I would highly recommend is Thigh High Reiwa Hanamaru Academy. This is by Kotobuki and published by Seven Seas. It's a 3-volume series, and I have just finished volume 3 as part of the Manga Pride Reads. So I've already read it, and I absolutely love it. It's boys in girls' clothing. What's not to love? A quick one that I will add, even though it's not BL, it is in my collection, and that is The White Cat's Revenge as plotted from the Dragon King's lap. The lap is a part of the body. So I don't have volumes 3 and 4 yet. 4 has just come out, but it is by Aki and the artwork is stunning, and I will keep on promoting Aki for as long as I possibly can. I just wish she would do her own work and finish it so that I can know what happens at the end of Arosamente, which is a mystery, and I'm stuck not knowing the end of a mystery. Now, when I came across, I was like, actually, this would work perfectly. I've read it already. It's another Scarlet Berico title, and it's Jackass, because the ass is a body part. Obviously, I absolutely love this. It's high school setting. It's a bit of fetishism. It's high school, like childhood friends to lovers. It's great. I absolutely love it. Jackass is wonderful, and I'm looking forward to the spin-off, which I'm hoping Sublime will have the license for, or at least will let us know if they do, so that I can look forward to getting it in English. I love a good spin-off. Another one that just seems pretty obvious is Dick Fight Island. It's a body part, right, guys? This is Reibun Ike Reibun, and this is also a Sublime title. It's a 2-volume series. I may have just picked up volume 2. Go check out my latest haul video, or one of my latest haul videos. So this is one that could definitely go on my TBR for this year. I want to read what I buy, and Dick Fight Island is something I've got. Now, this is a bit of an odd thing. I actually have 2 volumes that have the same name, and that's Barefoot Waltz. The first one is volume 2 of the Takumi-kun series by Shinobu Goto and Kazumi Oya. I have not read the Takumi-kun series. That's a 3-volume series, and it also is one of the first ones to have like a BL live action adaptation. So that's definitely something I could read. The other one is also called Barefoot Waltz. This is a June manga title, and this is a Romiko Miike title. I haven't read this one either, so this is also one that could definitely go on my TBR. Now, the next one I came across is a Geo brand title, so you know I'm not putting this on my TBR, and that is Kiss Your Hair, and this is from 801. I don't know why I don't like Geo brand, I just do. So eventually I will have to read them all. It'll just be like a one big one and done. But not today, Satan, not today. Another one that I came across, which I thought would be quite funny, is junk. That's a body part, right? You're junk. Shoo Sakurai, I think would probably enjoy that joke, because her standards are low, and this is probably also a low standard title. So it could go on my TBR because I haven't read it yet. But I don't think it's going to be good. Now, one that could go on your TBR, but I've recently just read it. I read it in April. That is Fangs. If you've got sharp little teeth, they're called fangs, even if you're not a vampire. These guys are vampires, though. So Fangs, volumes 1 and 2 by Billy Bali. I really enjoyed this. I'm eagerly awaiting the next volumes. A good Tokyopop title. Now, another June manga title that definitely could go on my TBR is one that I'm not sure if I've read. I don't think I have, and that's Suggestive Eyes. And this is a Momoko Tenzen title. Momoko Tenzen is also prolific and has quite a lot of her works published. So chances are I haven't read it, and I've just thought that I have. So this could definitely go on my TBR. So here I just noticed my filming is slightly off. Never mind. So I've put them into 2 piles. I put all the hearts and the bloods in one pile because those are the ones that I really checked, and the other ones that I just went through my collection to see what I had. Yeah, so they're mixed up in ones that I've read and I haven't read. I definitely think that I've read quite a few of these. Yeah, I think I've read 10 on the heart and blood side and only 6 on the miscellaneous body part side. So there's definitely a few that I'll need to go through. I might rearrange these into my read and my TBR pile. That might be a bit easier. But just in case you're looking for something specific, I have hearts and bloods, and then I've got foot and thighs, and then we get into the mid body parts. We've got dick and junk and jackass, so ass, laps, hands, scars, fangs, eyes, heads, and hair. So it's part of the body. So there you go, organized by body part. Okay, so I've rearranged it into read and unread. So you can see all my read is on the right hand side and all the unread is on the left hand side. So it's actually quite significant. Heartstopper, Pure Heart. Pure Heart, I could definitely do a reread of. Um, though most of these I wouldn't necessarily plan to. Open the Door to Your Heart is always worth a reread because it's Yugi Yamada. Jackass as well. And Dickfight Island, I need to read volume 2. So volume 1's there, but volume 2 could go on the other side. But if I was going to do that, I would do a reread of volume 1. Now, on to all of the ones that I haven't read yet that I would want to. The Heart of Thomas needs to get read sometime in 2023. But all of the other ones I would be quite happy to read. I do think I might need to hold back on doing Take an Enemy's Heart by Yusa, just in case that ends up being a buddy read at some point, because I think we had so much fun with Sweet Blood that I would be happy to do another big Korean epic fantasy revenge story. I think it's a revenge story, so that's definitely something that I maybe will put to the side for just now. But the other ones, maybe remove Takumi-kun as well. I think that's going to have to be. So most of these are one-shots. Love for the Scars, Electric Hands, not going to read Kiss Your Hair. Junk, Empty Heart, Suggestive Eyes, Stolen Heart, Barefoot Waltz. These are all single volumes, one-shots, so are quite easy for me to read and do. But the Heart of Thomas is the main one, but I don't want to put any pressure on myself for getting it done specifically in the month of August. It's just going to be something that happens at some point this year. It's on my you need to read this in 2023. It's one of my 23 in 23s. So that's my main choice. But I could quite easily do a reread. In fact, out of everything that's there, Pure Heart is the one that I'm most drawn to, even though it is one that I've already read. But as my goal is to read not only what I'm purchasing, but also what's in my collection, I will need to focus on the left-hand side, but specifically the Heart of Thomas. So yeah, anyway, I hope these titles have been interesting or they have made you think about wanting to read them. Hopefully I've given you some ideas for a TBR that you could do for the month of August for your Buzzword reading challenge for the year. I just need to, in my mind, read one or two things. So technically, I've already read Thigh High Volume 3 this year. So I've technically already done this. I can tick it off and go, woohoo! I read Fangs. So I did that in April. Woohoo! So I don't feel any pressure to get loads of reading done. But if you'd like to, here's some recommendations for BL buzzwords. So yeah, hopefully you found this useful. Thanks for watching to the end. Take care, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye!